Hey guys, Rob from WealthBuildersHQ.com here. If you follow any sort of trading on social media, you've probably noticed that everyone is sitting behind these massive computer systems. While having a wall of monitors is impressive, I'm more interested in showing you what real traders are watching on their screens, because that's where the real action happens. So if you want to get in on some of this action, be sure to smash the like button, and then we'll take a peek behind the curtain at what traders are looking at on their screens. So it's peek behind the curtain time. Let's talk about why traders need so many monitors. And the very first point to that is they don't. Is it beneficial, helpful to have multiple monitors? Yes. Well, how many, Rob? Well, the system we're looking at right here, we're in my corporate office. The system we're looking at here has 4 monitors on it, plus I have my laptop. So realistically, there are 5 screens that I could work off of. Do you need 5? The answer is no. What you really should do is get at least 2. Well, why 2? If you have a laptop, if you have a PC, you can plug in a second monitor to them. On a laptop, it's very simple. PCs, depending on the age, you may have some challenges there. But you've got all different ports, HDMIs, ABCs, XYZs, whatever they're called. You've got all these different ports on Apple, on PC. Plug a second monitor in. In manufacturing, they have proven that you will increase productivity by 23% to the worker on a shop floor by adding a second monitor. Imagine what it does for you as a trader. I can switch here between all the different companies that I want to look at, but guess what? Every time I change and go away from this Amazon chart that I have on the top and I bring up Apple or Google or Microsoft or whoever it is, every time I change it, what happens? I don't see Apple anymore. I don't see Amazon anymore. So having multiple monitors, I can have a bunch of charts that are setting up, and I can be watching those companies as they're setting up very quickly, have different monitors with one set up on each one. But having at least 2 monitors would be beneficial to you. So I've got 4 here in our corporate office plus the laptop. I've got 6 at home. Sometimes I will boost it up to 8 depending on what's going on, trading around Fed announcements, trading around other reports that are coming out. I'll have, things like that. I'll put more monitors. But do I need them? No, but it really does look pretty cool. At this point, what I'd like to do is take a look at what I call my 4-pack. Now, the download that you get will say RR 4-pack, and I label everything with my name on it so I know where to find it in the list. I'm not looking around for something that I named and trying to figure out what it is. They all start with RR. You're welcome to change it once you put it on your system or not. That's totally up to you. So when you look at this monitor here, my bottom monitor that we're focused on, this is what I call my 4-pack. Now, you may look at it and say, but Rob, there are 5 charts on here. That's right. We're going to talk about what each of them represent and how we use them. In the upper left-hand corner, we have a 1-minute chart on Amazon. In the middle upper chart, we have a 5-minute Amazon chart and another 5-minute one on the upper right side. Now, the reason for 2 5-minute charts, this chart, which we're not going to discuss here today really, but this chart in the upper right-hand corner is for a very specific trade setup that I teach that we do just on Fridays. So I keep it on my system at all times. This way on Friday, I'm not trying to load that chart back in. It's always there. It's not in my way. It doesn't bother me, so I'm okay with it. Then we come down here on the bottom left, and we have a 15-minute chart, and the chart next to that in the center bottom is the daily chart. And then this is just called a radar station or radar screen, where I can go right now. I'm looking at Amazon. I can quickly go ahead and switch over to Booking, where everything will change, because we've got our symbol grid set up in here with our linking, where it is set up here that now there are global links and local, right? So this one is set up here as a global link. So everything will change, which means even what's on my next monitor, which is an option station, will change to that. All right, so they're all linked together. I'm going to go back to Amazon, and I want to talk a little bit about it. So the very first thing you have to do is you've got to decide what your primary time frame is. So I have a 5-minute chart there. That's my primary. That's where my trading decisions are made. If I say I want to take a trade on Amazon, the 5-minute chart is what tells me that I want to take it. I use the other charts to determine should I take it or not. And if I should take it, when. Critical parts that most traders don't talk to you about. Most of them are saying, when you get a bounce, just take the trade and that's it. Oh, you see the move on the 5-minute, you're good to enter the trade. No, you need to confirm with the 4-pack of what to do. So let's break it down. So the very first thing is I'm going to expand out the 5-minute chart. That is my primary chart. And if we look, I'll even zoom in on it a little bit. You look, Amazon Now this is where Amazon had closed up. You see this very faint white line in here, right? Amazon had closed up here, right, and opened here. So we had this great gap down today. We had a wonderful move back up. We filled the gap, right, closed in what we have there on our gap, and then we started to fail all over again, right? So when I look at this, the moving averages have crossed, and I've got 3 different moving averages here, 5, 8, and 21 exponential. We're getting this great move to the downside. It's bearish, right? Wonderful. Well, I could just say jump in based on the 5-minute chart, and you can. But it all depends how far of a time you're looking to enter into this trade. If you're day trading this and you're trading purely off of momentum, then when it broke the moving averages, you might have entered into the trade. When you saw the candle greater than double the size of the average candle that was before it, you may have jumped into the trade. There's other ways to enter. I'm not saying this is everything you could possibly do is what is in my system, but the way that I trade works. Okay, so if we look at it here, we got the breakdown. I'm looking or considering bearish. So what I want to do then is go to my next higher time frame, which is a 15-minute. So the 5-minute is in what's called a bearish bias, where the market is actually moving downward on that stock at that time. The bias is bearish. We look at the 15-minute, the bigger picture for the last couple of days has been bearish, and today or the last 2 or 3 days, more of that sideways move, what I call the dreaded box of neutrality. It's just a sideways move, but the name really helps my students understand the dreaded box. Oh no, it's neutral. Right? Step back and look at this. Take note, something's going on here. We're in a neutral zone or neutral bias. But we have this bearish move to the downside. We're going sideways for the last 2 or 3 days or so. So we're in this channel, if you would. Right? So still that neutral to bearish connotation. When we look at the daily chart, and I'm going to zoom in on it a bit. When we look at the daily chart, you can see Amazon for the last 2.5 weeks-ish has been in this massive bear move. So let's step back for a second. The 5-minute tells me we're bearish. The 15 says we're bearish to neutral, and the daily says we're bearish. Now I'd like all 3 of them to be bearish, not a neutral in there. So I don't have a perfect setup. But if I was grading it, it's still gonna get a good high grade based on those 3. But Rob, you call this a 4-pack. Why are you only looking at 3? Ancient Chinese secret, right? What we're doing now is we've got the 3 that say, yes, I like this. We're going to now shift over and we're going to grab the 1-minute chart and we're going to use the 1-minute chart for a tweak. We're going to just hone in and wait for that right moment to enter the trade. Remember, I didn't look at the 1-minute to make the decision. I looked at the 5. I used the 1-minute just to kind of smooth it out as a smoothing coefficient, if you would, just to kind of smooth it out and tell me when's the right time to enter the trade. And if you look, what's happened? We've got this nice move down. It's come back up. It had this green candle popped up. It failed right here. It's starting to pop again. If we can hold until, let's say, these tops and roll back over again. So if we just snap a little line right off of here, right? If we can hold that top and fail, which it looks like we are, and we continue to push down, that might give us the tweak as the potential entry into the trade. Right? So when you look at this, we use what's on this screen, all of these charts, to help us identify, is this a solid trade for right now? See, the 5, the 15, and the daily say, yes, I like it. The 1 says, I like it now. Right? Ideally, you have all 3 of the charts, 5, 15, and daily, are all focused on one direction, bullish or bearish. Right? If you get a neutral in there, but the overall bias was bearish before it, like we have now on Amazon, so the 15-minute was bearish down and then sideways now, I'm okay with sticking with that bearish mode. I'm okay with adding that one in the mix. But we use this 4-pack to really help focus and zone in on the trade. Most traders are talking to you about, you see the 5-minute, take the trade, and that's it. Guys, you need to know what else is out there. You don't want to go jumping out into the woods with a knife and then you see that there's a bear out there, right? You brought the wrong tool for the game, right? You want to make sure you've got the right tool, the right weapon in the market when you look to trade. Awesome. So I hope you enjoyed this part on the charts, guys. This to me is really phenomenal. There is a link again down below in the description that you can click and you can get access to this TradeStation template. Just download it and install it. Just open TradeStation, click on it, and it will add it right into your TradeStation chart. Folks, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and click the subscribe button so you can follow along with all of our great content, and ring the bell so you never miss anything new that comes out. And folks, with that down below, we've got a couple of other videos for you to choose from that you can watch from our materials.